This video is about my experience with a shower valve kit that I purchased from eBay for about $250 Canadian, which at the time I thought was a really good deal, but it turns out because of many complications it actually ended up being a very bad deal. So I'll be going over what those complications were. So I'd like to start off by saying that this is my first plumbing project. I have zero plumbing experience prior to this. So I was learning on the go here. This is kind of just a fun project for me, but I ran into lots of complications with this eBay shower system. Please feel free to correct me in the comments in case I am wrong about something, since I don't have much experience. It might actually even help me out. But I hope this video review does help someone considering to buy one of these more affordable eBay shower valve kits or shower kits. But first I'm just going to describe the system to you. So I started off by installing obviously the main controller unit, which has a 5-port diverter here, the pressure valve, and it has the thermostatic valve as well. And so connected to the diverter is the body sprays. I built this pressure balance loops, so there should be 3 body sprays on each loop, and it just connects underneath here to both loops. I used a combination of PEX 3/4, PEX 1/2, and copper 1/2 to get this going. And the reason for that was I wasn't getting enough pressure on the 6 body sprays. In fact, just the lower 2 were getting somewhat of a decent pressure, so I tried to cover the others up, and even so it still wasn't good enough. So I thought maybe the pressure going from the original 1/2-inch PEX was not good enough, so I replaced it with 3/4 going from the house to get some higher pressure on the second floor. But even that wasn't enough. And so my conclusion was that this controller unit, or this valve unit, just does not work. In fact, I took apart the diverter and the holes inside the diverter were less than 1/4 inch. So, I mean, it takes in 1/2 inch here, but it's limited by the 1/4 inch inside the diverter itself, and it's also it's fully plastic inside. So the main complication was that there's not enough pressure. So I checked these lines going to the unit, and there's more than enough pressure to run it, but then what comes out from the diverter is very weak. So the unit itself is being limited. The next major complication was that the website or the store on eBay failed to mention that this is not an NTP threaded system or a North American standard threaded system, which is tapered. This is a metric standard, which is straight. And so trying to find an adapter, I ended up wasting maybe 10-20 hours searching, and I ended up just going with a copper straight thread, and with silicone tape and thread sealer I was able to make a fairly decent connection, but I wouldn't recommend that. So to conclude, the second main complication was this controller unit was not for North American, and so adapting it here just ended up wasting a lot of my time. If you see this unit on eBay, you might think the price tag is good. The shower head actually looks pretty good. It has a hand shower as well, which I don't have installed yet, but I have the pipe for it. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the shower head in 1 second. So here it is. I replaced the top, or removed the top. You can see again the metric threads, they're not tapered. Looks like some sort of PEX tubing, rubber tubing on the inside. And on the bottom, it has the rainfall system and then a waterfall system that you can switch between. That's why you have the 2 inlets here. The quality of this seems pretty good. I think it's stainless steel. I don't know if there'll be any leaks because the welding here seems a bit rough. So I'm a bit worried about that. Let me get a close-up. Well, you get the idea. So that's what the shower head looks like. So what I'm gonna have to do now is take off this entire unit, probably scrap it because it's just really poor quality. Oh, I also forgot to mention the third complication. This is not stainless steel and it's not brass or copper. It's just, I believe, regular steel because it started rusting red on the inside. So that's just, I think, really poor to begin with. So what I'm going to do is replace this unit with a separate system because I can't find anything like this custom with 5 valves. So I'll be adding a thermostatic valve here. I'll make sure it's brass, and I'll make sure that it runs 3/4 up to the pressure valve, which I'll be just adding manually instead of getting a whole built unit. And then I'm gonna get a 3-valve diverter because I can't find any 4-valve diverters in any local suppliers or online. So I'm gonna have to add a secondary valve for the body spray. But the benefit of that is that I can run the shower head and body sprays simultaneously because I think I only need about 12 to 16 gallons per minute with the 6 body sprays and maybe 4 or so gallons per minute for the shower head, so I could run them both at the same time by doing this new setup. So that's my review of the eBay shower system. I'd highly advise against it. So just 3 things to keep an eye out for. So make sure that it's made out of brass instead of steel or iron. Make sure that it uses an NTP or North American thread standard. And make sure you get the rating that this can handle as far as water volume goes. So how many gallons per minute can it handle? Because this one definitely cannot handle the 6 body sprays. So I don't even know why they're selling it.